So in this video, I'm going to talk about why I stopped sleeping with my Apple Watch. So I bought the Series 6 Apple Watch when it came out last September, after looking into getting one last summer when the Series 5 was out. I reluctantly waited until the 6 came out, just in case there was a groundbreaking feature that I would have missed out if I got the Series 5. When I first got the watch, I was very excited to, get it up and running so I could receive messages on it, I could respond to messages with it, I could change the song I was listening to, all sorts of things. I even found that it could track your sleep. So I didn't actually start sleeping with it right away, but I can actually check, and it says that I started sleeping with it on October 12th. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first started sleeping with it, it was very hard to get used to. See, I wasn't used to sleeping with anything on my wrist, never mind a mini computer that could track the amount of time I spent in bed and how long I was asleep for. But then in December, I unfortunately lost my job and I still kept sleeping with it, but something happened that made me stop sleeping with it. The reality is that after losing my job, I didn't have the rush or the urge to get out of bed in the morning. That actually sounded terrible, so let me rephrase, because that made it seem like I only get out of bed to go to work and give 40 years of my life to work, otherwise I'd have no reason to. But there's also some truth to that. Anyway, I wasn't in a rush in the morning because I didn't have a job, so my alarm would go off and it would wake me up and I would remember that, I don't have to go to work today. So I would just dismiss it from my watch, turn over and proceed to go back to bed. And that was basically my downfall. See, I usually sleep with my phone on the other side of the room, so I actually have to get out of bed to go and dismiss the alarm. But when I had the watch on, it was just convenient to just, you tap your wrist, you turn over and you sleep for another hour, and then you don't get to do all the things that you wanted to do that day. But see, the Apple Watch isn't all that bad. One good thing about it are the health benefits. I read this story on the Apple Watch subreddit, and this person had a heart problem, and their Apple Watch, brought that problem to light, so to speak. The person's heart rate would randomly go to 120 plus beats per minute for a few minutes to a few hours at a time, and they would wake up to, warnings about it on their watch. They thought the watch was malfunctioning at first until they went to the doctor, and then the doctor said they had something called supraventricular tachycardia. It took me very long to remember how to say that word. And essentially what that is it's when your heart rhythm rises from improper electrical activity in your upper heart. Thanks to Google for that definition. The person then promptly moved to a mostly vegetarian diet. They did more cardio, they cut back on caffeine, more healthier habits. See, I read stories like that and I want to wear my watch to bed, although I will admit that I didn't try disabling the alarm on my watch. Not sure if you even can do it, because I would want to see if my watch was picking up something when I was asleep. But really and truly, I just don't want to get used to sleeping with it again. As much of a first world problem as that sounds, it took me so long to get used to it being on my wrist when I went to bed, and then now I'm gonna have to do it again. But when I was in the process of getting used to it, I was having bad sleeps and stuff like that. Yes, I do completely, understand it's a first world problem. It was just hard for me to get used to. But one thing I find very fascinating is, this little thing on your wrist. It can measure your blood oxygen level. It can measure your heart rate. It can track your sleep. It can do all these things that we could have only dreamt of 20 years ago. If that person from Reddit didn't wear their watch to bed, they probably would have never known that something was wrong, and they would have just, gone on like nothing was wrong, but then something worse could have happened down the line.
So you come here, it's just like your regular face, you go boom, and you come to this little thing right here, and then you see blood oxygen. You have to make sure it's pretty tight on your wrist. I put it on the fourth little thing, and here we go. I'm not sure if it's tight enough on my wrist, but we'll see. And there we go. So our blood oxygen is currently 100%, and then You can view blood oxygen measurements in the health app on your phone, and then like all your stuff gets sent there. And then it's just like stored on your phone if you want to show your doctor, or whatever the case is. So yeah, that was it.
There are countless stories of, the Apple Watch saving people's lives, and at this point I'd argue that it's even more valuable than a more expensive watch, like, a Rolex or, something like that. Like, obviously value is subjective because Rolexes are mostly seen as an investment, they can go up in value and stuff like that, whereas Apple Watches don't. But is a Rolex gonna, measure your heart rate and give you warnings about it? Or is a Rolex gonna measure your blood oxygen or tell you that you're in a loud environment and, they recommend moving to a quieter location because you could experience hearing loss? Probably not. See, the thing is that technology in the past 20 years has come farther than we ever could have dreamt of, and it will progress further than we can probably ever imagine. But there's one thing that technology can't do, and that's resisting the urge to go back to sleep after turning off your alarm. And as always, thanks for watching.